Welcome back to Around the World here. See where our journey with Jesus takes us this time. This time it takes us to a pretty interesting part of town. This is Staten Island. Not a pretty famous borough, not known for much, except for recently it was in the news for some destruction of Sandy, and maybe if you're from America, if you have MTV, Real Life of a Staten Island Girl or something, that's about the most that you'll see in Staten Island. But here, one idea that we wanted to try was, one of the ways that you can speak with people is, if you have kind of a captive audience, is that if you're watching them or speaking with them rather, as they're waiting for a train or a bus or whatever. And one of the captive things about an island is that you've got ferries. So we went to the Staten Island ferry with a nice team there, multiple people, and we decided to speak with whoever God would give us for that half an hour period when they're waiting between ferry and the next ferry. So we split up into teams. The first group of people that we spoke with, both the males and the females, happened to be families of Islamic descent. So we had the males speak to the males and the females speak to the females. That's not where this video is going to take us here. One of the things that God was trying to show us this day was, when you look around the area, if you triage, if you will, if you go into an emergency room and you look around and say, who's got the worst injury? Is it the guy with the broken leg, the guy with the heart attack? When we triaged that area, there happened to be one person that really caught our eye that looked a little bit different from everybody else. And we had a little hesitation of approaching this person because we figure, I don't know, maybe he'll do something funny. But we decided to just do it anyway. And that's the person I want you to meet here. Meet our friend, Natalie. So, hello Natalie. First question is, if you could describe Jesus, how would you describe him?
I don't know, I never met the guy. I'm into witchcraft, so.
Okay, and how did you decide to be into witchcraft?
It's been long travels. Like, I was raised Christian, but like I never felt too connected to the universe through it. So I ended up just like, my mom gave me, she was a witch. So she gave me a book, and while teaching me witchcraft, like as a kid, she let me explore like the world's religions, and I found Wicca to be the one that connected me most to spirit.
Okay, so how did you feel most connected? Oh, I'm sorry. I'll walk with you.
I felt it gave me more control over my environment, and also it gave me a lot of it made me feel like I was one with things, and like there's something watching over me and like guiding me. It was pretty cool.
So in Christianity, what turned you away from it? You said you didn't feel as connected?
Too many beliefs, too many, like in Wicca there's only one thing: harm none, do what you will.
Sorry again?
In Wicca there's only one thing: harm nothing, do what you will.
Oh, okay. So you believe in harming nothing?
Yeah, of course.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's all Wicca is really just like attuning yourself to the seasons and like the harmony with the changing energies of the earth.
Okay, that's great. And so what did you believe either before when you were a Christian or now about heaven and hell and that kind of thing?
I don't know much about that, but in Wicca there's legends of what's known as the Summerland. It's just like an eternal summer of like whatever flies.
Cool. Okay.
That's pretty cool.
That sounds really nice.
Yeah.
And is there anything in Wicca about like forgiveness and love and that sort of thing?
Of course. You basically try to align yourself with like only things that are like really high energy creatures.
You can kind of start and put aside.
Yeah, like in terms of forgiving things, you forgive them for yourself, so you don't hold grudges and hold bad energies.
Okay.
Like what people are gonna do what they're gonna do, but other than that, like.
Cool. Okay, and then for you, so how old were you when you started first getting into Wicca and away from?
Like 8.
8. Wow. Okay.
Good. I mean, I was always messing with like Ouija boards and tarot cards and stuff.
Okay.
And like rune stones, just all sorts of occult stuff.
Oh, cool. And so did you ever really look more into Christianity, see what it was all about?
No, I mean, I really never I felt the need to. I mean, I found a spiritual path that works really well for me, so I just kind of like, I have no qualms or problems with Christians. They're some of the nicest people I ever met,
That's cool.
So I'm very tolerant to all religions, as long as they're not hurting things. Like I'm fine.
That sounds wonderful. Yeah. I mean, it's great to have the perspective of tolerance. At the same time, though, have you ever felt like You know, are you certain that the spiritual path you're on is the right one?
I'm pretty damn sure. I'm not like gonna be as arrogant as to say that it is, but I'm always open to like exploring more spiritual paths.
Oh,
I still do to this day. I mean, I've explored Toltec shamanism, voodoo, and stuff like that. Like, I'm very into culture and stuff like that.
That's wonderful. So would you ever be interested in exploring more about, because you mentioned that, you know, you never met the guy, Jesus. Would you be interested in exploring about who he is?
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I'm so busy right now writing books and like filming documentaries and exploring the world. And
Oh,
like,
wow.
I don't really have all that much time to like get into like spirituality, like in terms of new spiritualities. But I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
That's cool. So, what kind of books are you writing?
Right now, I'm writing 2 books. One's it's Ouija board experiences. I'm gonna go to haunted spots and do Ouija board sessions and just like write down what I get. And another one I'm writing is it's kind of like a Jack Kerouac kind of book, like on the road. Because I've been on the road since I was 13, just traveling.
Wow.
And just experiencing the world. So.
Wow. And where have you been?
Everywhere, all over this country, in Mexico and Canada.
Wow. That's cool.
And,
Okay, and so another thing is, one of the things that Christians believe is, like, there's a verse that says that God is love. What do you think about something like that?
I would probably tend to agree. Like, it's like to me like what the entity known as God is like really just the conglomeration of energy fields that make up everything that we know. Both good and bad. But so I'm not really all that positive on all that. Like, it's something to think about though.
I know there's a cliffhanger at the end. I know you're waiting to see what he would say. Kind of just kept it for you that way anyway. To our segment here of like, so what? What does this matter to me? When you see a person like that, like Natalie, first, what do you think about that? Or how does that impact you as a person? Do you kind of judge them right off the bat? As you notice in the conversation, he was pretty willing to talk. He was pretty open to a conversation. He was even nice. You know, when we asked him, what do you think about Jesus? He said, oh, he's a pretty nice guy. Even though he looked very dark, even though he would twitch as if he was possessed, even though he had this gothic dark clothes on and so on, there was something there that God wanted to show us of being able to be open to the most like broken looking kind of people ever. And Natalie, him specifically, later on we got to speak with him after the video and stuff like that. We were able to keep in touch. He began to kind of open up to us a lot about the things that he'd gone through as a kid, like how his mom, more details about his mom and the relationship that he had with her, and like her witchcraft and stuff like that, and more details about his own witchcraft and how he got into that world, and how right now he feels satisfied by the devil. I mean, the sad thing is that you see people who are really in the grips with the devil, and we still keep in touch with him even to this day, to see how can we maybe offer him some hope outside of that lifestyle. Maybe for us, one of the things that we can take away from this is that approaching this exact demographic around us, of people who are into Wicca or witchcraft or satanic things, not thinking that they're beyond redemption, that's one thing, and two, being able to approach them in the same like kind, loving way, as if not to see really their exterior so much. I know it's hard. I know when someone looks that different, it's hard not to see that. It's hard not to see the contacts, hard not to see the tattoos. But as one girl taught us, this was a girl actually in Las Vegas, that a group of servants came and they spoke with her in the middle of Las Vegas. She was working in a store. She was all tattooed up and piercings and all this stuff. And they weren't sure if she'd receive them or not, you know, based on her look. But lo and behold, she was like excited. She started posing, taking pictures with them and saying like, you know, like showing the pamphlet that she had with them, and man, you're coming here to talk to me about God and whatnot. So basically, God will surprise you if you kind of put yourself out on the limb. There's a beautiful promise in the Old Testament, Chronicles, that says that the eyes of the Lord run to and fro throughout the whole earth to show himself strong on behalf of those whose hearts are loyal to him. Basically, when we kind of put ourselves out there, God will show himself strong. He will show us his strength even when we're being uncomfortable in the presence of someone who looks really, really different, who looks like they worship the devil and whatever. Same kind of person that we met in Ottawa, in the city of Canada. the capital city of Canada, who had the same kind of look, who had the same kind of get away from me, don't talk to me sort of look. But when we approach him with questions, we approach him saying, hey, you know, we're doing this survey. He was much more open to having a conversation. And that conversation led to him again hearing about Christ for the first time in 10 years. Since like leaving his house, since having a fight with his mother and being on his own in a broken way, and drug use and whatever. Got to hear about Christ because the servants there in Ottawa weren't intimidated by his look. So that's another thing as well. Don't be intimidated and don't be surprised. And allow God to shock you a little bit. Cool? Till next time, we'll see you in Around the World.